Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Sunday matinee here in the City of Trees as the Boise State Broncos host the Cal State Fullerton Titans from ExtraMile Arena here in Boise, Idaho. Leonard Berry with you alongside me, a former Bronco and first team All-Big Sky member Brian King. KTVB's Jay Tusk will join us later as well. And Brian, for Boise State, they're in the midst of a 4-game winning streak, and they're looking to make a little bit of history here today. They've won 19 straight games at ExtraMile Arena, hoping to make it 20 here this afternoon.
Yeah, great Sunday afternoon here, Leonard. But Cal State Fullerton's on a 4-game win streak of their own. This is a very well-coached team, disciplined and defensive-oriented. They're really hard to score against. Led by Max Jones, who's really an explosive scorer, and DJ Bruton, who averages about 14 a game as well. The Broncos will have their hands full today here at ExtraMile.
Boise State will certainly have their hands full trying to get to that 20-game winning streak. But on the offensive end, they do have a player who can really create for them. Cam Martin leads this team in assists, and he's one of the best post passers in the country.
Well, he really is, and Cam has been a super addition to the Boise State's roster. He's an elite passer, again, 31 assists, but he also is a pretty big addition and a big body down below as well. He likes to step out and shoot the three. He might surprise some people and make a couple once in a while as well.
He's been not only a facilitator, but a scorer for the Broncos. Can do it at all three levels, and it's going to be a lot of the game ran through Cam Martin today for Boise State to try to break down a Fullerton team that's second in the Big West in terms of scoring defense. It'll be the Boise State Broncos and the Cal State Fullerton Titans coming your way here from ExtraMile Arena. Tip-off up next when we come back on the Mountain West Network and KTVB. Time for basketball here in Boise. Leonard Berry, Brian King, and Jay Tusk with you as Boise State takes on Cal State Fullerton. Broncos looking to extend their home winning streak to 20 games. As we look at the starters for the Cal State Fullerton Titans here, Brian, Max Jones and Bruton, two guys that you mentioned, really elite guards.
Yeah, they really are. They can fill it up, and they're going to predominantly be the two scoring threats for the Fullerton today, two high-quality guards.
And Jay, Roddy Anderson in the starting lineup for Boise State. He is going to be the distributor for this Broncos team tonight.
Yeah, coming off a really good game, probably his best performance as a Bronco. Played with great pace in that contest last week.
Abo getting his own miss and putting it back in, so 2 points and a rebound. Start the game for Shabuzo Abo.
Yeah, just a quick way to pad your stats right there, right? Get the rebound, easy layup.
Yeah, sorry, I got a little excited there when you missed that, guy. Sorry about that.
It was such an easy look that he made it maybe more difficult than he thought. This is Max Jones. Scored 30 points in a loss against Nebraska for the Titans, and he can shoot it from deep, and he shows it right there.
Boy, we talked about it twice already. He is an elite scorer, big body guard, and he will put it on the floor and go to the rim as well.
Matchup between him and Anderson will certainly be one to watch here in this contest. Abo, he can shoot it from deep with the best of them.
Boy, how well has Abo shot the last 4 games? Holy smokes, the kid's on fire.
The thing I like about it, too, is he wastes no time coming out. It gets hot in the first half, usually carries it over to the second half. He had 5 threes in the first half alone last game.
God, the microwave. He heats up quick, Jay. He heats up quick.
This is Bruton. Back up top for Burrell Kabamba. And Jones, another straightaway 3, but that's off left. Trailing Degenhart. Stanley trying to get the ball into the paint. It's Rice, and that one won't go. But Anderson's going to save it. Broncos are right back on the attack. Nice spin. Shot won't fall. Stanley with the follow-up.
Boy, I like the take by Anderson, too, there, Jay. I mean, this team's success this year, I think, really depends a lot on how Anderson progresses. He's got to stay aggressive. I like the attempt there.
I feel like we saw a little bit of his learning curve, though, because he pushed up initially there in transition, had 3 bodies in front of him, turned around, just kind of left it for Degenhart. I know it seemed like a simple thing, but he didn't dribble into 3 bodies and try to make something happen. He just kind of took what the game gave him.
That'll go down as a block for Tyson Degenhart. Broncos once again want to get it into the post. Stanley back to Anderson. Good pump fake, and he gets fouled.
We'll go back and take a look at that last play of Anderson's little spin move in the lane. Well, that's the previous one. Draws the foul. He's going to get a couple of free throws.
Broncos really intent on getting the ball down into the block, as Anderson will take the first of 2 free throws. A stat for you this season: points per possession when they get a paint touch for Boise State is 1.2, which is a very high number. Without a paint touch, they only average 0.78 points per possession. So that is a huge shift when the Broncos get the ball down low.
Well, I think even the 3 of us could figure that out. Ball needs to go into the paint for Boise State.
Get that thing popping, get it moving. Boise State has done a great job at distributing the basketball these last few games.
Jones got it down low. It's going to come out off the hands of John Mikey Square, and Fullerton's going to turn it over.
Maybe a bit of a road trip legs here for Fullerton early. They've been on a long road trip. They've got 4 consecutive wins, though.
Team coming off back-to-back 20-win seasons. Went to the NCAA tournament 2 years ago.
Really a well-oiled machine are the Titans. Rice, straightaway 3, and Degenhart found him.
Yeah, better look for Rice. Great footwork. He was ready to shoot that before he got it. Those are almost easy shots for Max Rice.
You can tell, too, sometimes the way that he catches it with the seams. If he rips that thing perfectly, you can tell it's going in long before it does.
Yeah.
Bruton can't hit. Degenhart gets the rebound thanks to some help from Omar Stanley. The Broncos with the big early advantage. Abo, quick rise off the dribble.
Boy, the mid-range, so difficult to guard. Great bucket by Abo.
Timeout called by Cal State Fullerton and their head coach, Dedrick Taylor. Broncos with the big lead early. Abo leading the way with 7 points. We're back in Boise. Leonard Berry, Jay Tuss, Brian King with you here on a Sunday afternoon as we look at our keys to the game for Boise State and Cal State Fullerton. And Jay, we talked about those post touches for Boise State. They're getting it going early there.
Yeah, really a key for them. When Cam Martin comes off the bench, he is elite when he kind of catches that thing at the top of the key and gets his teammates involved. For Cal State Fullerton, you know, those second chance points, Boise State, especially early in games, hasn't been as good as they've been in years past at getting it on the defensive glass. They've allowed some of those second chance opportunities. I know that Leon Rice, after last game, said, yeah, we talked about it at halftime, nice and calmly. I'm sure it wasn't a calm conversation, but I would assume you're going to see the Broncos come out with some intent on the defensive glass this afternoon.
This is Jones, and that is a tough bucket.
Oh, you people at home don't know how tough that was. That was a good bucket. You don't want to leave Max Rice open.
Abo from the corner. Ooh, he's out of his mind. 9 points for Abo.
Well, the Broncos came to play. They've got good energy right now. Really good energy.
Gosh, we have seen Abo do it from behind the arc. We saw him show off the mid-range game. And then he goes up over the rim right there off the miss.
Get a second look, though. Abo, boy, that's just a dream rebound for a kid like him.
6'7" with length. 3-level scorer for Boise State. And that pass right into the chest of Max Rice. Broncos take it away.
Yeah, be smart here.
Abo triple teamed, and he's going to turn it over.
They didn't hear you, Brian.
They didn't hear me.
This is Torrey San Antonio, the reigning Big West Player of the Year. Coming off the bench, still working his way back from injury for Fullerton, but he's a difference maker, not only on the defensive end, but offensively as well for this Titan team. Jones into the step back 3.
It's a good job by Roddy Anderson to go get that defensive rebound. That's one of the unsung parts of Marcus Shaver Jr.'s game. Great defensive rebounder.
Elite defensive rebounder. Elite scorer, Shibuzo Abo. How about 12 points inside the first 6 minutes?
How about Abo shooting 60% from the three-point line in the last 4 games?
This is ridiculous,
I mean, this kid's
guys.
on fire. And by the way, I think when Boise State brought him here, they expected that from him. I mean, he's that good of a talent.
San Antonio passes up the 3. Wants to bang with Degenhart. Good defense by the junior out of Spokane. And that ball will stay with Boise State. That's going to be a foul on Burrell Kabamba.
Fullerton looks a little road weary right now. Long road trip for them. Trust me, this is a good, well-coached, disciplined basketball team. It just kind of looks they haven't found their legs yet.
On the flip side of that, Boise State looks like a team that's finally been at home for a few weeks. They've had a few days between their last game and this game. They look rested, ready, eager to come out and try to get a program record 20th straight home win.
Yeah, and Jay, practice time is so important at this level. I mean, you've got to have time to fix things and put things in, and you don't get that when you're on the road.
Yeah, especially when you pride yourself in being a developmental program, right? Like, you got that time to develop.
Right.
Degenhart fouled and won. I don't know. They might give that assist to Cam Martin.
I think Cam Martin just got another assist.
Ball kind of just squirted out there, but Degenhart picked it up, scores, and to finish your point, Brian, this is a Fullerton team that's won 20 games in back-to-back seasons. You don't just luck your way into consecutive 20-win seasons. It takes hard work. Leon Rice certainly knows a thing or two about getting Boise State 20-win seasons. So for both of these teams, well-coached, a lot of talent. Just for Fullerton, tough time on the road. Pepperdine and Sac State, those are some closer road trips than Boise, but still, it's a long time to be on the road.
Yeah, motels and buses and airports are just not fun when you're doing this.
Degenhart makes it 20-5, and Boise State rolling here on an 18-2 run.
Yeah, 20-5, but trust me, this is a good basketball team. There's a lot of time.
San Antonio. What about that pull-up? This is Jalen Cooper, his first touch of the basketball. Gets to the rim, and he will be fouled.
Tyson Degenhart, first personal, team foul 1 on the Broncos.
I think Abo wanted to pad his stat sheets there with adding block to it early, I think.
He gets so much attention for what he does on offense that it can be overlooked at what he does on defense.
Yeah, good stroke by Cooper, 66% free throw shooter on the year.
Junior out of St. Petersburg, Florida, who spent 3 years at Palm Beach Atlantic before transferring to Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, Fullerton's roster is really interesting. When I looked at it, I thought it would be full of California, right? West Coast, a lot of players in that state. It's really not. Florida, Texas, Florida, McNeese State, Alcorn State, St. Louis, Houston. I mean, they are all over the country. Little pressure now by Fullerton. Looks like intensity's a little better.
You can imagine denying Abo the basketball will be high on their priority list. Degenhart couldn't get the first one to fall, but he'll follow it up.
Tyson just got mad. He missed the little bunny at the rim, and he just said, I got to get that back.
He is certainly more athletic than he was last year, though. He said he lost a little bit of weight, slimmed down a little bit in the offseason. He missed that thing, quick back up off the floor, rips that rebound down, goes right back up for the easy bucket.
A travel is going to be called there against Zachary Vizentine.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate for him because that was going to be a bucket. I mean, that's a big body in there. He was positioning himself just for an easy layup. Just shuttled his feet a little bit.
Let's look at the Degenhart offensive rebound. Broncos dominant on the glass, 10 boards to 1.
There's that post touch we were talking about.
Martin can't get it to the drop, though. Rebounded by Bruton.
Good pass. Good
Nice finish.
finish.
Donovan
Really
O'Day.
good. Holy smokes, that was not easy. That was an NBA finish right there by Day.
And that's the McNeese State transfer right there. Donovan O'Day played 1 year in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Little heat check there from Shibuzo Abo, who misses just his second shot of the game.
Yeah, definitely a heat check on that one, Leonard.
He's saying he got hit on the arm. That ball did kind of come outward. Didn't have much rotation
It
on
did.
it.
Had a weird spin on the release. Fullerton trying to cut into this lead.
San Antonio with the on-ball screen. He's going to lean into Oppo and make the contested shot. And the officials explaining to San Antonio that he glided his way into Oppo. There was no foul there.
Little high post touch for Martin.
Leads to an open three for Tyson Degenhart, and TD adds 3.
You know, Degenhart, when you watch these games, sometimes you don't even know he's out there, like maybe the first 5 or 6 minutes of this game, and all of a sudden it goes boom, 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 and the stat sheet is full.
8 points, 3 of 4 shooting, 4 rebounds, 2 assists.
Right, and did he get a touch in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game?
No.
And all of a sudden it's like, that's just typical Tyson Degenhart. It's like Whiting just struggling a little bit to get it up court.
You can tell what the game plan is when Jace Whiting's in the game. Teams like to kind of pick him up, pressure him. He's bringing the ball up court.
Martin dribbled it off his foot, going to rip it back away, take contact, but can't finish. Good defense from Visinton. Bruton, pull-up jump shot, won't go. Diving for the loose ball. I think it's going to be a jump ball. Waiting to see the officials sign. We'll figure it out when we come back. Broncos leading by double digits in the first half. Boise State out to the big lead. Shabuzo Avo playing a massive part in that. He's got nearly half of Boise State points so far, Jay, and he has been an elite scorer this season.
Yeah, he just continues to pour it on. I mean, he's had at least 5 threes made in each of his last 3 games. He's already got 2 tonight. If you want to total that up, 19 threes made over the last, 3 games and counting, I guess. So we're working into the 4th game. I mean, I don't know if we've seen a shooter like that, Leonard, at Boise State since Brian King was filling it up here.
He gets a lot more looks than I got, Jay. But to your point, he's shooting at a 60% clip.
Yeah. He might be coming after your 3-point field goal record there.
Actually,
Yeah. Might look at this a little differently now, huh, BK?
You know, I would be happy for him to have it. I'd be happy for him. It's been there too long.
Well, Abo currently on the bench for Boise State, so they'll try to make offense happen in other ways, like Max Rice in the middle of the paint.
But we talked about this elite Fullerton defense that we were expecting. We're not seeing it yet.
Oh, there's a big block from Omar Stanley.
Yeah, we might be seeing the elite defense from the Broncos, which, of course, they hang their hat on that as well.
This is an interesting lineup, too, because now we see Omar Stanley and Cam Martin on the floor at the exact same time. They used this rotation 2 games ago, but that was because Tyson Degenhart was in foul trouble. But I think they like what they saw from it. Putting Cam at the 4, leaving Omar at the 5, gives them a little more size. And you don't sacrifice a pass or any offense when you put Cam on the floor.
No, I think that's right. And I think anytime Stanley's on the phone or on the floor, I'm pretty happy. I like him.
Jones going to get an open look here, but he hits the front of the rim.
Still not a guy you want to leave open. He's deadly.
Meadow, the freshman for Boise State.
Good time to be patient here. Might need some inside touches.
Rice working his way in there. It's Martin on his way to the rim, and he tried to throw it down.
Wow. Apparently no contact.
I feel like I could hear the contact, let alone saw it. Man.
Jones, the
Good
pull-up. And that mid-range will count. Meadow fouls him as well. So an and one opportunity coming for Max Jones.
Boy, good pull-up again. He's really an elite scorer, and they need him to score. And you just don't want to give him a look.
Meadow didn't give him anywhere to land, which is what's going to put him at the line. Jay, we saw Cam Martin try to sky for that dunk again. We saw that a couple times against Northwestern State on Tuesday night. He's really looking for one of those big put-you-on-a-poster moments.
I think he's over there looking at Omar being like, I want some of that action.
Well, and you know, for a big kid, Martin's pretty athletic.
He is.
He's really athletic. He moves well. He's quicker than you think. He likes to think he can shoot that 3. The stats don't show it yet, but I think if he's open, he's going to take one.
Just another one of these Boise State players, whether it be Roddy Anderson, him, Omar Stanley, Andrew Meadow. It feels like you give these guys even another month, they're not going to even look like the player they were today. These are all guys that are going to get more comfortable and continue to grow.
Yeah, I agree, and I think this Boise State team will just get better and better and better. Again, you don't want to peak in November as a basketball team. You really don't want to peak in December or January.
Cam Martin said those exact words, Brian, after last game. Said this is something that they want to make sure they got right come February and obviously March.
First personal team foul 4.
I'm not sure what happened there. They signaled the foul on Max Rice, and then they gave Boise State the basketball. I don't think that was either the official messed up the number, and it was supposed to be on 23, Torrey San Antonio, or
I think the officials said the scores table, we're going to get this figured out, and we'll go back and get a second look at it.
San Antonio slides over as the help side defender. And then there's a whistle and a point, and it looks like he's pointing at Rice.
Yeah, I can't tell. I think they both fouled each other. It's which one are they going to get first? Look, the officials, he's trying to figure it out in between some bicep curls and some chest presses, I think. He's these guys are fit.
Yeah.
So they changed it to San Antonio, so there was just a mistake on the signaling. As Rice catches in that short corner once again.
Boy, you don't want to pick up the basketball. If you're going to go baseline, you don't want to pick it up down there. You better know where you're going. Good time for a high post touch. Yep, Mike Stanley just go to work. Good
finish.
He is
going to work against Vincent Lee.
Good finish.
That's when you got 4 guys out, 1 guy in. Omar so athletic, he can go finish at the rim.
Boy, pretty hard to guard from that position on the basketball court.
That's where Leon Rice said he wanted him to be aggressive, though. If you guys got 4 guys out on the perimeter, you're on one-on-one. You do you, Omar.
San Antonio on the drive, meets resistance, and draws a foul. Stanley was the one who got him.
Well, Fullerton really offensively just struggling to get a good look here. I mean, they're doing a good job of ending up with a look, but it's not exactly what I think they're drawing up.
One of the things they talked about this week, the Boise State coaching staff, when we had our weekly production meeting with them, for Omar Stanley is a guy who's playing in the interior like that. It's all about technique defensively, keep him out of foul trouble, and you can see there just kind of bent over a little bit. San Antonio is going to miss the second free throw. Ball is loose, and it was last touched by Jalen Cooper. So it'll go over to Boise State.
Donovan O'Day back on the floor for the Titans.
The Broncos have been so efficient on offense today, averaging 1.6 points per possession. They've scored on 72% of their possessions. 12 of 21 from the floor, shooting 57.1% as a team.
Meadow with the quick trigger. Stanley's going to keep it alive, and he's going to get fouled. That'll go against Vincent Lee, the senior from Midlothian, Texas, and it'll take us to a break. The Broncos up by 12 here in the early going on the Mountain West Network and KTVB. We welcome you back to Extra Mile Arena, where Boise State under head coach Leon Rice has been rather dominant. 825 home winning percentage, and you look, Boise State with the 19-game winning streak, that's good enough to be tied 3rd in the country among winning streaks at home. Only UCLA and Oral Roberts doing better at their home gyms.
I think the thing that stands out to me about the Leon Rice era is that he just continues to build, right? I mean, 13 years here, and the home atmosphere, what they're doing at home, is as good as we have ever seen it. Yes, his support staff here is probably as good as it's ever been, but to still be on your way up after being at a place for 13 years is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Jay, and it's 100% factual. It just gets a little better, and even if they lose assistant coaches, seems like they bring in really high-quality guys immediately.
This is O'Day. He's in the lane. He's going to make it, and he's going to get fouled. So Fullerton finding their way back into this game through and one opportunities.
Yeah, Fullerton just chipping away. Chance to cut this under 10.
We talked about their looks haven't been that great. They're shooting nearly 50% from the floor with all the tough baskets that have fallen for them. O'Day is going to miss that second free throw. And you talk about what Coach Leon Rice has built here in Boise State. When he took over 14 seasons ago, Boise State was a team that was sporadically in the NCAA tournament. Now in 2023, to pretty much everyone around the program, if the Broncos don't go to the NCAA tournament, it's almost a failed season.
Yeah, that is the expectation, right? I think it's the expectation of the staff. It's the expectation of the players. And now it's becoming an expectation for the community as well.
I think on top of that, they're expected to finish in the top 3-4 every single year in the Mountain West Conference standings. And if you're in the top 3-4, you have a chance at being at the top of this league.
Rice puts the ball on the floor at the end of the shot clock. Stanley's in there with another big O board for the Broncos. And it's Abo. He's left alone in the corner. He's trying to draw that foul. Third chance for Boise State. Second chance for Abo. That's another three. That one will fall. Abo's got 15.
He's not missing 3 in a row. Absolutely not possible for an elite shooter like him. Broncos have kind of gone away from the post touches, which we've talked about earlier the last few possessions.
Saw a couple more offensive rebounds by the Broncos there. They've rebounded nearly 60%, nearly 70% of their offensive misses tonight.
Big bodies. How many Stanley got? Stanley's got a few of those, I would think.
Yeah,
He's
4.
got 4.
4 offensive. Okay. Kind of thought he was in there getting a few of those.
He's got a steal here, too, off the held ball. Anderson in transition with Degenhart. And Abo's back there on the glass for Boise State. A whistle comes, and a foul is going to be called against Mikey Square.
Get another look. Degenhart looked like he traveled a little bit down there on that catch. Might have got away with one of that right there, Tyson.
Well, Abo's going to the free throw line for the first time today. He's taken 10 shots in this game. Nobody else for Boise State has taken more than 5. He's going to miss his first free throw.
Probably the best scoring run of his career. 27 points against North Texas, 24 against Western Oregon, 17 against Northwestern State, and already up to 16 in the first half tonight.
Yeah, and you can just tell by watching, like, he doesn't think anybody can stop him.
You really can't.
Right now.
He's so focused, and he is so, from one moment on to the next moment, just dialed right now. Never seen this out of him before. I mean, you can see his growth.
There's an O board for the Titans. It's Jones who scoops it up and puts it back in. He's in double digits now. He's got 10. So it's Abo and Jones leading the way for their respective teams.
I should say when I've never seen the focus out of Chibuzo before, I meant last season. This season, it's been all him.
Stanley trying to get to the rim, and Mikey Squares says no. The Farley Dickinson transfer throws that one back and out of bounds.
Pretty good square up by Stanley, but just a great defensive effort. 14 on the shot clock. Oh, good play.
Stanley has
Good
to just
play.
float it up, and he gets it to fall.
Boy, really simple out of bounds play, but again, back to our earlier point, when you're on the road a lot, you don't have time to really scout all those little pieces. They kind of should have known that was coming.
O'Day finds Carper getting his first shot up of the game. He's an elite three-point shooter, too. Hasn't had his opportunities as Anderson trips. Abo double-teamed. O'Day just kind of walked in there. Stanley puts him on his back. No call.
Good chance to run here.
Coming quite the back-and-forth game here over the last couple of minutes. Rice to Meadow. Freshman on the drive. Nice layup there from Andrew Meadow as Leon Rice calls a timeout.
Well, that possession, it all started with the high post touch, right? You got it to the high post, and Stanley kind of spread everybody out, and all of a sudden Meadows gets a chippy at the bucket.
Broncos lead it 37-21 as Leon Rice called the timeout after the layup by Andrew Meadow. And we talk a lot about Chibuzo Abo's ability to score, Tyson Degenhart, what he means to this team. Andrew Meadow for Boise State in a couple games this year has really been their difference maker. He's gotten them out of trouble in a number of scoring drought stretches, and he's a guy that as the season goes on, as he gets more comfortable playing in college basketball, he's going to be an impact maker down the stretch for this Boise State unit.
I agree with you. I mean, I think guys like him, guys like R.J. Keene, they really make this Boise State team different because you extend further down the bench if you need to. And with the gauntlet that is Mountain West Conference play, they're going to need a big night from Andrew Meadow at some point in time, or R.J. Keene, or some of these guys that are further down the bench who they really trust this year.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think in February, we won't really recognize Meadow. I mean, he is a very smart, very talented, big-body kid, and he's got a chance to be a heck of a player.
Bruton, heck of a finish right there as he gets another. You look at the VCU game for Boise State. That was the only game that the Broncos won on their East Coast road trip. The Broncos were down 14-0 against VCU, and it was Meadow who came off the bench, hit 2 threes in a row. Whiting loses the basketball out of bounds, and it's a turnover. And he just continues to be pressured every time he touches the basketball.
Yeah, they're coming after him for sure.
Torrey San Antonio, who get credit for the steal. He's on the basketball here for the Titans. Working with Lee. Fades.
Oh.
Another shot that Fullerton makes. I mean, Brian, you said it earlier that people at home don't know how tough these are. These are incredibly difficult shots that are dropping.
That one was beyond tough, though. That was just luck. That was just like, I'm about to travel here, so I'm going to chuck this one up, and it's going to hopefully hit some glass. And it did, and it went in.
Kabamba called for the foul there. Broncos still leading by 12. Back in Boise, Boise State leads Cal State Fullerton here towards the end of the first half. Leonard Berry, Brian King, and KTVB own Jay Tust. Busy weekend for Bronco Athletics. Busy weekend for you, Jay, just hours after getting back from Los Angeles, here with us.
Yeah, I'm excited for basketball season. These Broncos deserve our sole attention. But, yeah, last night down at the L.A. Bowl, Boise State gets up early in that game, 16-7. UCLA starts to figure things out with their quote-unquote backup quarterback in the second half, and ultimately they go on to win 35-22. But, you know, a year that not many people thought the Broncos could work their way into the Mountain West Conference Championship game, but they brought home that hardware. They finished one of the wildest seasons, not only since I've been covering the team, but really in program history, 8-6 overall, and now signing day coming up on Wednesday. So it never stops. In college athletics, but
yeah, these poor coaches, it just does not stop. I mean, there's not a minute that goes by during their day that they don't have their mind filled with something that has to be done.
Bruton creates some space for himself. Shot won't fall. Martin's got the rebound.
Boy, good rebound by Martin.
Boise State plus 12 on the glass in this game.
And Degenhart will drop it in for 2.
Yeah. San Antonio had no chance defensively down there. Degenhart low in the block. Good entry pass. It's like, this one's over. It's either 2 or 3. You might just give him the 2.
Degenhart with 10 points becomes the second Bronco into double figures today. Is efficient as ever with 4 of 6 from the floor. Looking to add another free throw. And he makes it an even 11 points here in the last home game before his homecoming. Back in Spokane when the Broncos will take on a Washington State team that just suffered their second loss of the season yesterday.
Tyson's coming off a 20-point effort in 25 minutes against Northwestern State. He is the 8th Bronco to hit 20 points in 25 minutes of action or less in the Leon Rice era. You want to talk about efficiency?
Degenhart closing in on 1,000 points for his career already.
It seems like he's been here forever, but he's barely starting his junior year.
Needed just 35 more coming into today's game. Martin hop steps in the paint, and he's going to get called for a travel. A little too many moves on the dance floor for Martin there.
Wow, there might have been a little slip of the pivot. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think.
I will say this, Boise State's done a great job taking care of the basketball. Only their 3rd turnover of the game so far.
Yeah, and 2 of those have been traveling calls, I think. There's Bruton.
Muscles his way in, gets his own miss, back up, and he's going to get fouled. And clearly the offensive philosophy for Fullerton is to work the ball down low.
Yeah, they're just putting it on the floor, and they're just putting their head down. They're going to go try to get a layup. But, you know, you can just tell with Fullerton right now, just with their body language, they're just tired. They're whooped. This has been a big road trip for them. And Boise's not, you know, the easiest place to get to when you're coming from about anywhere, really.
Did have 7 days off between games for the Titans, but haven't played at home since December 3rd when they walloped Stanton 102-52. Team that's already played a Mountain West opponent as well. They opened their season in San Diego, lost to the Aztecs 83-57. So good tests this year for a Titans team that wants to make more noise in the Big West.
Titans fall back to a 1-3-1 zone, and I'm going to guess that's maybe their third time they've done it all season long. So it's a different look for them.
Nice pass
And
by Rice.
my guess is they won't give that look again.
Yeah.
Again, Max Rice, feet set, shoulders square, ball's got a good chance to
I
go
love
in.
that pass by Roddy, though. Again, goes in there and turns around, just makes the simple play, and Max a wide open three. Roddy, 0 turnovers today in 12 minutes of action. 0 turnovers last game in 24 minutes of action. He's coming along, Bronco Nation.
Heat check.
Nice from deep. And the Broncos are having fun today.
Again, Roddy Anderson making that play, setting Max Rice up. You know, it's funny because Max got off to a bit of a slow start shooting this year, and I think that a lot of people were putting the blame on him, but I think some of it has to go to the offense. He played with Marcus Shaver Jr. in the backcourt forever, and now you're seeing the fruits of their labor, their hard work is starting to pay off. Roddy doing a better job of setting Max up. Max's efficiency in terms of shooting starting to skyrocket. 3 of 5 from behind the arc. Max already in double figures. He joins Tyson Degenhart and Chibuzo Abo in double figures.
Well, this offense, as we get later into the season, really will need great point guard play, and that's been put on Roddy Anderson, and he's slowly figuring out how to be that point guard.
These coaches have so much belief in him, though. They know what's going to happen.
Rice.
Oh,
now
boy.
that's definitely a heat check, and he gets fouled. Wow, Max Rice is going to the free throw line. Maybe an ambitious effort there, but it pays off for
Now,
Rice.
I will tell you, back in the Bobby Dye era, if I'd have taken that shot,
On the bench.
ooh, further than the bench. Further than the bench.
The game
Out
has
in your
evolved.
car, go to your dorm room. I'll see you tomorrow.
The game has evolved a little bit.
And that does bring up a very good point there, Brian, because, of course, you played under Bobby Dye, who at one point was Boise State's winningest head coach. He still is Cal State Fullerton's winningest head coach. And D. Taylor, in his 11th season at Cal State Fullerton, needs just 8 more wins to pass
How about
Bobby
that?
Dye.
How about that, Leonard? Well done.
Yeah, tying it all together there.
Bobby
my man.
Dye took that Fullerton team to, I believe, the Elite 8. And I think he was 1 shot away from the Final 4.
I've got even more tie it all together stats if you guys are ready for them, too, as Rice makes that free throw. Boise State on a 19-game home winning streak. A chance to move it to 20, which would be the longest in program history if they can beat Cal State Fullerton tonight. Back in 1999, when they set the current longest home winning streak at 19 games, they beat Cal State Fullerton.
about that?
Wow. I
So-
know what you do all night now.
A lot of tie-ins here as Jones makes a good pass to the corner. It's Bruton, the floater. Doesn't drop for him. Stanley trying to protect that basketball while on the floor.
Boy,
Wow.
Great play by Stanley.
Anderson. Lee closes out. Abo, you can't leave him alone because he'll do that.
Roddy
right
Anderson.
play. The
Roddy
right play.
Anderson. 2 weeks ago, he would have went to the rim
Yep.
and drew a charge. Or then he would have pulled up and missed a 3. Roddy Anderson, a point guard. We're seeing it in the making.
3-second difference between the game and the shot clock. Broncos on a 15-2 run. Fullerton trying to end what is a 3.5-minute scoring drought. Jones, can he end the drought? No. Side rim, out of bounds, and the Broncos can try to push this lead with just under 6 seconds. Abo, by the way, 19 points in 16 minutes. Clock didn't run, so they're going to reset this possession, it looks like. Abo was 17 points in 31 minutes on Tuesday night, 19 points in 16 after that last three.
Boy, Abo, he's just really come into his own. I mean, holy smokes. The kid is playing with so much confidence. And you can just look at his body language.
Yep.
He believes nobody can guard him right now. What a great spot that is to be when you reach that as a player.
Anderson to the basket at the buzzer. His first points of the game come with no time left on the first half clock. And the Broncos up massively as we go to halftime. Raining it in. We'll be back with more. Mile Arena, Leonard Berry, Jay Tust, and former Bronco Brian King as Boise State has the massive lead thanks to a 17-0 run over the final 4 minutes to go into the half. And Chibuzo Abo leading the way from the very start, just like he did on Tuesday. Brian, this is an elite performance from one of the best scorers maybe in the country.
Yeah, it looks like a man that just really can't be defended right now, and he knows it, and he feels it, and that's a dangerous basketball player for any defensive team to try to have to guard. 19 points in the first half, 4 of 7 from the three-point line. And the kid is just on fire right now.
Yeah, that's at least 4 threes made in each of the last 4 games for Chibuzo, and I remind you, there still is a second half to be played here today. The big three doing their thing for Boise State. Buzo's got 19, Max Rice has 13, Tyson Dagenhart has 11. But again, the guy that got my attention in the last 4 minutes of that first half was Roddy Anderson III, because if they can develop him, he is going to be big time. Setting up a couple of his shooters for big threes here.
Set up Max Rice a couple of times, and after the slow start that Max Rice had, Western Oregon was the game where things really started to turn around for Rice. He hit 6 of 9 three-pointers, followed that up on Tuesday by hitting 4 of 9, and he's hit 3 of 5 so far today for 13 points.
Well, I think if any team in the Mountain West hasn't figured out that that's not somebody you want to leave open, then maybe the last 2 or 3 games they'll figure that out. I think they have figured that out, honestly, but if he's wide open, Max Rice, high probability that basketball's going in the bucket.
Yeah, he's playing with so much confidence right now, too. Some early season struggles, but he has been the player we thought, or the player that we knew he could be based off of his results from last year, these last few games.
You look at a guy like Max Rice, the way he started in the early season, so uncharacteristic for him. Everybody in this program knew that he was not that type of player. He wasn't going to regress the way that it certainly looked at the start of the season. He's proved that recently, proving it once again tonight, and Boise State has the huge advantage. We've got more from ExtraMile Arena when we come back. Halftime rolls on here in Boise. Best first half of the season for Boise State. 54 points here against Cal State Fullerton. Both teams on 4-game winning streaks coming into today's contest. And for Fullerton, a lot of work to do in the second half if they want to push theirs to 5 as we take a look at the first half stats and the shooting percentages, Brian, for Boise State. These are numbers that you dream about as a coach.
Yeah, they're really playing perfectly at all levels right now. Three-point field goal of 57%. I mean, holy smokes! Are you kidding me? How do you defend that? Except not let him shoot, right? 55% from the field goal line, and free throws haven't had many of them. But Boise State is firing on all cylinders.
We were joking around earlier in the show. You know, these are the months where you grow, and then you want to peak in February and March. Well, it's nice to get a little glimpse of what the peak looks like, even though the fact it is mid-December.
Yeah, really a strong, good effort by the Broncos the first half.
The turnovers, too, a huge point of emphasis for Boise State. They were turning the ball over double-digit, sometimes 15 or more times a game at the start of the season in November. Over this winning streak, they've cut it down to a number that's nearly below 10, just 3 in the first half today.
It wasn't that long ago that Roddy Anderson had 7 turnovers in 13 minutes of action against North Texas. Well, he has now gone 38 game minutes if you combine his performance from the last game without a single turnover. He is such a key piece to this team if they want to achieve what they think they can achieve. And again, that last 4 minutes blew me away. Roddy was outstanding.
And for Boise State on the glass, 28-12 in terms of rebounds. And Jay, you talked about this earlier, how Boise State can sometimes in the early parts of games get out hustled on the defensive glass. Not today.
Not
they came
tonight.
out strong.
Man. Leonard, they have brought it from the jump, and that was a huge goal of theirs. And rebounding is a team effort, right? Tyson Degenhart, 6 rebounds. Chibuzo Abo, 4 rebounds. Omar Stanley, 7 rebounds. And again, another key stat from Roddy Anderson, going and grabbing 4 rebounds as the point guard. That was something Marcus Shaver Jr., again, was so good at last year, a defensive rebounder from the point guard position.
Well, the Broncos getting help from everyone. We've got more coming up at halftime when we come back. Still halftime at ExtraMile Arena. Still Leonard Berry, Brian King, and Jay Tust with you as Boise State takes on Cal State Fullerton. And for the Titans, we talked about this road stretch that they have been on. This is their 3rd straight game on the road for the Cal State Fullerton Titans. And even though they had some time off between games, it's never easy to play 3 on the road. And you've seen some weary road legs right now, Brian.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty obvious here, just sitting here courtside watching. They just look a little tired, but the good thing is tonight they get to go home, sleep in their own bed, and they've got 2 road games, or 2 home games coming up. So Pacific, Long Beach State, and then along with every other college in the country, here comes the conference play.
This is a team, too, where we talk about Boise State always finding a way to peak at the right time of the year. They usually get better as the season goes along. Cal State Fullerton, they're so dangerous come conference tournament time. They've made their conference tournament 4 out of the last 5 years. So they certainly are a program that usually progresses and develops as the season goes along as well.
You take a look at the Titans conference schedule there, and it's a team that's also, much like Boise State, aggressively tested themselves with their scheduling in the non-conference. Trips to San Diego State, UCF, and Nebraska. For Boise State, it was a trip to the East Coast at Clemson, Virginia Tech, VCU, Butler, all on neutral sites before going to Idaho Falls to play St. Mary's. Both of these teams know what it's like to test yourselves in non-conference play.
Yeah, and I think in today's day and age, you have to really do that with the NCAA tournament in your mind, right? You've got to be battle tested, and both teams have done it.
Both teams have done it to get ready for their conference seasons. We got 20 more minutes coming your way when we come back. Time for the second half between Boise State and Cal State Fullerton. Broncos shooting to thrill here in the first half. 56% from the floor, 57% from 3. Free throws, maybe a little bit of work for Boise State, just 6 of 11 for 55%. But you can deal with some poor free throw shooting when you're scoring the basketball the way the Broncos have today.
Yeah, you'll probably get away with it in a half like we've had today, but you won't get away with that in February and March.
That'll be one thing the Broncos look to clean up, but the turnovers have come down. They've attacked the glass with relentless passion so far through the first 20 minutes, and they're back to work on the offensive end. Chibuzo Abo leading the way with 3 Broncos in double digits to start the second half. Boise State is still on a 17-0 run as well. If they can get a basket here, it would improve to 19. Abo too soft around the rim.
Yeah, great move, though. That looked like a definite mismatch down low. Abo just left it a little short. Looks like a little more energy already out of Fullerton.
Absolutely.
They might have a little talk at halftime in the locker room.
Absolutely.
A little more purpose, a little more energy.
Bruton, corner 3, and that'll end the run. So exactly what Fullerton wanted out of the locker room.
Well, DJ had a real quiet first half. He is an elite scorer. They need him to score. That's 5 for him now in the game. Maybe he gets going for Cal State Fullerton.
1 of 8 to open things for DJ Bruton. Anderson, Euro steps, and that shot will not drop for him.
Still good play, good look.
Cooper in the corner, and that is going to go down. That's Grayson Carper. Well, Fullerton with the back-to-back made 3-pointers. Put themselves on a 6-0 run to open the second half. Rice wants the deep 3. Give him 3 more.
Holy smokes. When you kind of think that's not the shot you want, and then he just bottoms it from about 26.
Oh, Boise State answers back with a 3 of their own. Here's Jones in the paint. Lefty layup off the rim. Out of bounds off the Titans.
I know Boise State has experimented with a number of different starting lineups this year. I like this one. I think this is the one they're going to go with.
Yeah.
And they've been playing different combinations and looking for the right fit. And I certainly think this is the right fit for Boise State.
Stanley putting the ball on the floor. Big and drive to the rim, but that time well defended. Bruton will set it up in the half court. Just slips by Abo.
Boy, good switch by Degenhart.
He's guarding Jones. And that floater does not drop. Abo slipping, sliding, and turning the ball over.
Broncos just a little quick on the last few possessions. There's 30 seconds on that shot clock.
And Leon Rice shouting out to his team to slow down, so he saw exactly what you saw there, Brian.
Jeez, they might have put me on the payroll.
High post action here from Mikey Square. Jones gets a good look, and the Broncos cannot afford to allow that.
Boy, you know, like you've always said, like these guys are on scholarship too. I mean, you can't leave an elite scorer like Jones wide open.
Abo. Crafty with it. Stanley puts it back in. Thought that one might have been on the rim, but Stanley gets away with it.
Boise State looks like, big lead in the first half. Maybe resting on their laurels a little bit with that first half blowout, but then they don't look like they have as much energy as they did coming out of this thing.
Jones whips that pass to the corner, but Kabamba can't finish off the play.
You see that pass by Jones. He's a left-handed shooter. He threw that with his right hand. I mean, that was a nice pass.
Rice, pass fake. Floater's too short. Chase it down. Leads to an open 3.
We've kind of had, looks like a little Y ball possessions here the last 4 or 5 for Boise State.
Bruton, he gets a great look. And the Titans making the halftime adjustments.
Titans made 1 3 in the first half. They got 4 in the first 4 minutes in the second half.
Yeah, and all wide open, good looks.
Broncos looking to pick up the intensity a little bit. They're going to turn it over again. So sleepwalking their way here in the start of the second. Jones, no! Stanley whacks it back to the Titan bench. Trading threes here in the second half. Titans and Broncos. Three-point shooting has been the name of the game today. In the first half, it was Boise State's three-point shooting. In the second half, the Fullerton Titans have come out, and they have splashed down from beyond the arc.
Boy, they got hot. I don't know if they turned the heat up in the locker room or what, but they heated up quick. Max Jones, who we know is going to score if you leave him open, and DJ Bruton went 2 for 2. Carper hit one in the corner. All of a sudden, you start hitting those threes, the score tightens up pretty quickly.
And I think for Cal State Fullerton in that first half, Jay, maybe the most ridiculous thing of it all was the fact that DJ Bruton didn't take a three-pointer.
Yeah. As a team, Cal State Fullerton's not an elite three-point shooting team. They entered this game just a hair under 30% as a team on the season, but they have found a way to catch fire here in the second half.
And Rice is going to miss the first free throw. By the way, during the break, there was a technical foul called on Dedrick Taylor and his staff. So Rice gets 2 technical free throws for Boise State. And didn't see what happened to lead to the technical, but it is going to be Titans ball after the free throws. Bruton lost it there, but it was touched out by a member of the Broncos.
Max is one of the best free throw shooters you will ever see. 2 misses tonight. First time this season he has missed multiple free throws in a game.
That probably takes him down to about 84%
yeah, exactly.
on the season.
He missed 3 total free throws coming into this game on the season.
Anderson just waiting, and makes the right pass. Degenhart doesn't help him out. And one of the things from Roddy Anderson, we talked about how well he's played over the last couple of games. He only had 1 assist last game, but those numbers were deceptive because he hit a lot of open guys.
Well, he's got, talking to the Boise State coaching staff last week, I asked about Roddy Anderson, and Roberto Bergeson told me that he has a chance to be a really special player. Like, they are really high on him.
Bruton getting fouled here. He's going to go to the line and shoot 2 for Cal State Fullerton.
So funny when, you're going to draw comparisons to the guys that previously played the position that you did. So naturally it's going to be Marcus Shaver Jr. will be the comparison for Roddy Anderson. Marcus Shaver Jr. spent 6 years in college. By the time he finally stepped on the floor for Boise State, he was in his 4th year of college. This is only Roddy Anderson's 2nd year of college, his 1st year with the Boise State basketball program. So that's not an apples-to-apples comparison there. He is going to be good. And as you said, Brian, chance to be good. If you include this year, he still has 3 more years of eligibility with Boise State.
Yeah, and he's with the right staff, too. I mean, these guys hang their hat on developing players, and you don't do that in 2 months of practice. It takes time.
Leon Rice has been here for 14 years. I've covered him for 13 of those years, and he saved one of my favorite sound bites that he's ever provided us after last week's game. And he was talking about Roddy Anderson's development. He was also talking about Roddy Anderson's parents. He said that the reason why Boise State was the place for Roddy Anderson is because his parents said, make him a point guard. And to what Leon Rice followed that up with is sometimes you have to go through the valley of death on the way to development. You have to get a little worse before you can get way better, right? And I think you're just kind of seeing that play out before our very eyes. But Leon was very adamant. That's a lesson to all the parents out there. If you want your player to go to a developmental program, it takes patience. Sometimes it takes tough love. But they're experiencing all that, and we're seeing Roddy Anderson really start to grow.
Yeah, really good point. It takes time and it takes patience, and parents just have to know that and understand that.
This is San Antonio. Finds Bruton in that corner. Creates some space for himself, and a mid-range jump shot goes down.
Boy, Bruton heating up. Averages 14 a game. I think he had 2 at half. I think, if I remember, he's got about 8 more already.
A career-high 23 for him in the victory at Sacramento State.
High post. Sorry.
maybe you should be on the other. Maybe you should be on the bench over there.
Good pass.
Nice. Degenhart finds Stanley. That is the ball movement the Broncos pride themselves on.
Stanley now into double figures, gives Boise State 4 players in double figures.
Had 5 on Tuesday. Stanley almost had that steal. Bruton for O'Day. And Degenhart getting called for a foul, mostly because of his size there.
Yeah, unfortunate. Tyson, you fouled him. I know you didn't try to or intend to, but just it was.
Number 31 checks into the lineup for Boise State.
Pretty good crowd here for a Sunday afternoon. Everybody stayed up late to watch the football game last night here in Boise, and usually on Sunday or Saturdays you're going to find people up at the out at the ski resorts, but
This
we
time
don't
of
have
year,
any snow.
This time of year, a week before Christmas, too. It's going to be tough to pack this place, but a good response from Bronco Nation.
Meadow to Degenhart. Takes contact. Nothing called, so he gets his own miss. Tries again. No. Martin's got it.
Cleaning up the boards.
Extra pass. Anderson, the corner 3. That's iron. Good tip by Martin.
Be patient. Good pass.
And it leads to a wide open 3 from Degenhart. Broncos struggling. Anderson flying in there. A foul is called, and it's going to go against Cal State Fullerton.
But they got good looks, and they made smart reads on that. I was kind of hoping that 3 by Roddy Anderson would have went down. He kind of deserved that to go down for him, but look at everybody crashing the boards.
And so Anderson draws the foul. He's got 6 rebounds. I know you brought up Marcus Shaver Jr. a ton tonight, Jay, but like you said, Anderson, the guy who getting compared to Shaver, and Shaver last year, I mean, he was one of the best in the country for a long stretch of time throughout the entire non-conference. He was one of the only players averaging the points, rebounds, and assists that he was as Meadow drills a three.
Hey, when you make the extra pass, magically the basketball goes in the bucket.
19 second chance points for Boise State. They have rebounded 56% of their misses.
Bruton, left-handed floater. The teardrop works.
Boy, DJ Bruton is just that old school, in the park, knows how to go make buckets.
Degenhart comes to a stop. Anderson doesn't make the extra pass. Gets himself wide open. Shot's just not falling for him. Rice sets his feet deep beyond. Martin is a menace down there. He keeps swatting the ball out, and he's going to get rewarded with the two-handed flush.
I mean, how many offensive rebounds are we seeing? Holy smokes.
17 total offensive rebounds by Boise State. The tip outs there by Cam Martin. It feels like he's got more than 3, but they give him credit for 3 offensive rebounds at this point. 21 second chance points for Boise State this evening.
San Antonio.
Nice take.
Boy, clever by D'Antonio. Super close.
Broncos still up by more than 20 here in the second half, even with the way that Fullerton has come back at them. Martin, that 3 ball. He's got it.
Boy, it don't look pretty, but it finds the bottom of the net once in a while. You just knew he was going to shoot that when he popped out there, too.
He had such a unique stat line last game. 12 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and 25 minutes of action off the bench. It had been 6 years since a college basketball player had put together that stat line.
Wow.
Very unique for a bench player.
Broncos leading the way. Martin getting it done on the interior. Boise State leading the way. Cam Martin bringing it on the offensive end for the Broncos. We talked about his ability as a passer, but today it's been the scoring and the rebounding for Cam Martin, Jay.
Yeah, leads the team in assists. And I think the thing that I really appreciate about Cam Martin, he just kind of brings a calming presence, a veteran leadership. I liked what he said after last game, talking about Roddy Anderson, kind of being somebody that could be there for Roddy Anderson as he grows. Cam's like, this is my 7th year of college. I've been at a lot of different stops, and I still have a learning curve. Like, give the kid a break. He's going to be okay.
Yeah, it's just, people forget that. It takes time. When you get out of high school and you come to a big-time college basketball program, the learning curve is not fast. I mean, it takes time. The speed, the quickness, the strength of these players.
Nice defensive play there by Jones. Read Degenhart's eyes. Bruton to the rack. Martin knocks him down. He gets the rebound on the floor and then chucks it up right straight to Tyson Degenhart.
See Whiting back in the game for Boise State. Solid point guard. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Can hit open threes.
Another 3 try for Martin. Jones dumps off down low, and Zachary Vizentin gets fouled. So 2 free throws coming up for the junior out of Spanish Fork, Utah. When we come back, Broncos leading Cal State Fullerton.
Tell you, DJ Bruton for Cal State Fullerton has caught fire here in the second half. He has a team high 16 points, 14 of those in the first 10.5 minutes here in the second half. 5 of 8 shooting overall to go along with a pair of threes, Brian.
Yeah, an elite scorer, and I wouldn't want to guard him on the playground, right? You can just show he can score it. But how about this? He's currently pursuing a master's degree in instructional design and technology. He's getting it done on the court. He's getting it done on the classroom. Maybe we've forgotten about student athletes right now with all this going on.
Yeah, you're totally right on that, Brian. It is a forgotten topic in today's game, but they still do exist, and DJ Bruton is a model student athlete.
Vizentin making the first free throw. Second one will also go in. Played here in the state of Idaho back when he was at Idaho State. Spent 2 years there with the Bengals. And he makes both free throws.
Boy, really good job by Whiting bringing it up. No more zigzag. He just blew by the guy. Just get by him. Create some space. Makes it a lot easier on yourself.
Rice getting fouled there by San Antonio. Leads to a little bit of talking from everyone.
Now it's on Torre San Antonio. 4th personal team foul on the Titans.
Little peek behind the curtain. You were talking about that with him off air a little bit earlier, how sometimes maybe just go with it, be a little more decisive, and we're seeing that out of Jace Whiting.
Gets it in the middle, does Whiting. Just a sophomore for Boise State. Comes from a
good entry pass.
Really good basketball family, and Omar Stanley.
Boy, that was really a good set. I think that was an intentional play. A little pin, a little dump into the post. I like their chances when Omar Stanley gets it about 2 feet from the basket.
12 points, 6 of 8 shooting. He's 2 rebounds shy of a double-double.
Cooper wants to throw it in. Argument from Visinton that he was being held back by Abo, but they don't buy it. And it's a turnover for the Titans.
Really tough place to make an entry pass into the post is from up top of the key. That's a really tough, difficult angle.
More backcourt pressure from Fullerton. Whiting trying to create some
Square
space
him
for
up,
himself.
blow by him. There you go.
Good job by the Broncos sophomore to get it over. And Meadows going to get fouled.
Seems like such a simple thing with Jace, but once he gets that figured out, that's going to extend his minutes.
Absolutely, and he's solid. Like I said, rarely makes a mistake, doesn't turn it over very much. You don't want to leave him open because he can knock down a 3.
He really can, shooting almost 40% from 3 this year.
Whiting moving it to Rice.
One more.
And he gets stripped. Jones to the rim. Stanley laid off, but still fouled Max Jones. And 2 free throws are coming up for the Fullerton guard.
Yeah, I'll take that one from Omar. We talk about him trying to stay out of foul trouble. Didn't get handsy there, just got him into his body. You'll take that, I guess.
Yeah, you don't want him with 0 fouls out there, right?
Exactly.
But you don't want him with 4 either. That's a good stroke by Jones.
Leading scorer for Fullerton this season with 16.8 points per game. He's up to 14 now.
76% free throw shooter. Again, really a nice guard. Cal State Fullerton's 2 guards are about as good as you're going to get in that conference.
A team that's going to cause some havoc in the Big West for sure with this lineup. Degenhart. Abo's looking for another 20-point game. Broncos getting it into the paint. Degenhart swatted by Cooper and then throws it back in. And the officials are going to review.
I think the shot clock. I think they're saying that maybe Cal State had possession. What are they saying there?
Boy, I don't know, but that was a great block on
It was.
Degenhart's shot.
Hey,
Holy smokes.
Degenhart that deep is nearly unstoppable. So, man, what a defensive play
Holy
there.
smokes, a great block.
The rise and the rejection send us to a break.
It is time for the fan cards name as many challenge. I have our
Boise State leading the way against Cal State Fullerton. Leonard Berry, Brian King, Jay Tust with you. Broncos made 27 shots so far today out of the 58 that they've tried. Good for 47%. But the biggest thing for the Broncos, 16 assists on those, getting close to their average on this 4-game winning streak of 17.5 per game.
Yeah, Degenhart with 4, Rice with 4. They're doing a really good job of making the extra pass, getting it to open shooters. Assists win basketball games.
As you saw on the graphic, just 8.3 assists per game for Boise State over the first 6 games. Whiting, dribble drive, Abo, and you thought maybe you could book it, but he misses. Jones on the penetration. Good find. That was great vision, but Jalen Cooper couldn't hit the 3 ball.
Tyson wants a basket here.
He's working for it in the restricted circle, and he scores on Vincent Lee.
I could see in his eyes. He said, "I would give myself a basket here." 74-51. Fullerton has definitely played better the second half. The Broncos have really matched them.
Big collision there between Cooper and Degenhart. And they are going to call a charge. Degenhart hasn't got as many of those calls this year, Jay.
Well, they're harder to get now, right? With the way the game's called, the way the rules are.
I think Degenhart was happy with that. He got one in the column.
Fans behind him are happy about it, too, with their We Heart Deggy sign.
It really did seem, though, last year, in a Mountain West game, big moment, he just always answered the call. Picking up a charge, such a part of his game. Ooh,
Rice gets shoulder checked. I think Jones thought that Rice was going to keep going to the basket.
I think Jones thought Max was about to make contact first, so he was just getting ready for it. Max just didn't make it.
Fullerton and San Antonio check back into lineup 4.
Second foul there on Jones. It's going to put Rice at the line, where he's gone 3 of 5 so far today. Got a chance to tie Abo for the team lead if he can make them both at 19 points. That'll get him to 18. Four players on the floor for Boise State, all in double digits, with Stanley having 12, Degenhart 13, Abo 19, and now Rice with 19 as well.
14 of 25 over the last 3 games from 3 for Max. We knew eventually he'd break out.
Yeah, it's almost when Max shoot ones, it's you don't care if he misses them, right? Because you know he's going to make a bunch right after that. And so he's still the same threat where he's making them or missing them. They still have to honor and defend him the same way.
Going to call a foul against Omar Stanley as he was battling with Vincent Lee.
Before on Omar, I believe.
That is correct, is the 4th on Stanley. Lee hasn't taken a shot yet this game as Jones cashes in from the free throw stripe. Vincent Lee's a guy who's shooting 92% this season, and Fullerton has not found a way to get him the basketball on the block.
Has Abo scored the second half? You have 19 at halftime?
He had 17 at halftime, so he only has the
17.
one
He's got a
bucket.
bucket.
Rice will add another, and he takes over the team lead, becomes the first Bronco to 20.
Chance to run.
It's a 4-on-1, and Whiting will throw it behind Stanley. The Titans' chance to run. It's San Antonio. Lee dunks it home, and there is that NCAA leading field goal percentage. This is only the 9th game that he's played in, so hasn't had a ton of opportunities, but he is 26 of 28 from the floor.
Jeez, he's probably up to 93% now for the season. Smart guy. He only takes the shots he knows he's going to make. Oh, boy.
Oop. Got it back.
Yeah, Stanley nearly getting stripped there. Rice, another one. 24 for Max Rice.
I'm telling you, if you see Max shoot and you watch the laces, if it is going, you can just tell by the way that he shoots it sometimes the ball's going in.
100%. Completely agree with that. If he catches it right,
yes,
gets the right setup, high probability it's going in.
Jones up and fouled by Abo.
Boy, Jones has had a bunch of attempts today. I don't know how many exactly. Jay's going to probably tell us.
6 of 14. 17 points, 2 of 6 from 3. 23 minutes of action. Again, leads the team in scoring. He's had a nice second half, 7 points, 2 of 5 shooting. Going to add on to that now.
Stays perfect at the free throw line. Max Jones, University of Tampa transfer. Like you were talking about earlier, Brian, this is a team that has some players from all over the country. Jones coming to Fullerton from Clearwater, Florida. And Jones will make the other free throw. The All Big West honorable mention a year ago in his first season with the Titans after 2 years at the University of Tampa.
R.J. Keene steps in for the Broncos, his first minutes of the afternoon.
Keene pivoting. Finds an open Degenhart, and there's the post-entry pass courtesy of Keene.
Thank you, RJ.
Quick assist for number 5 coming off the bench.
Yeah, Tyson just showing off the bunnies this year. He had 2 dunks in his college career, like as of a few games ago. He had 3 in the North Texas game, 1 tonight.
San Antonio. 3 ball. Right over Anderson.
Torrey San Antonio.
10 points for Torrey San Antonio as he gets into double digits. He's out there with 4 fouls, so he's got to be careful. 4 minutes left in this game. Rice, the dribble drive. The floater. We'll call it an alley-oop to Stanley.
I think it was a pass. Not really. But they should give him an assist for it anyway.
Yeah, they statted it as a missed jumper for Max, so that's going to hurt his field goal percentage. It'll go down as another offensive rebound for Boise State, however.
There you go. And you know what? That puts Omar over at 10. It's a double-double for Omar Stanley.
Stanley gets the double-double. San Antonio gets another basket. Fullerton's made their last 4 shots here down the stretch.
12 for San Antonio, and 5 of 7 from the floor. Boise State just trying to kind of work the clock. This one's pretty much over. Maybe a good time to get some of the other guys in. Oh, Stanley's going deep.
And for Stanley, first time that he's had double-digit rebounds as a Bronco. We go to the break. 3 minutes left in the second half as Boise State has the commanding advantage. Big night for Boise State. Career night for Omar Stanley for the Broncos. Might even say a little Tyson Degenhart-esque from Stanley. 7 of 10 from the floor, grabs 10 rebounds in 27 minutes.
Yeah, big first college double-double for Omar Stanley. This is what Leon Rice brought him here to do, and he's been every bit of what he expected tonight.
And a really critical addition to this team and their chance or their opportunity to finish in the elite top 2 or 3 of this conference, right? I mean, we really needed a guy like Omar Stanley. He is as good as advertised.
You look at some of the length and size that those San Diego State teams have rolled out in the past. Man, Omar Stanley is going to be a great counter to that.
Boy, we could talk about the conference this year, the Mountain West. I mean,
Loaded.
Colorado State, of course, which is getting all the publicity, but how about New Mexico? How about Utah State?
UNLV recently got a big win.
I mean, Utah State, first-year coach, right? New staff.
Like a new roster.
New players. No expectations. Last time I looked, were they 9-1?
Yeah,
10-1 now.
10-1.
Great start for them.
How about that group up in Logan, Utah? I mean, don't count them out.
Yeah, Danny Sprinkle has done an outstanding job. Jay, we talked about this on Tuesday against the Northwestern State game. Utah State is one of 3 teams in the country, along with Northwestern State and New Mexico State, who didn't return a single player who scored a point last year. What Danny Sprinkle has done in Logan so far this year has been incredible, and they have one of the best passers in the country as well. It's a league that is going to be dominated by guard play, and that's why Boise State is so intent on making sure that Roddy Anderson, bringing the ball up the court, is at his best come Mountain West Conference time.
Yeah, Roddy's he's come a long way in the last 2 weeks, but they're really going to need him to be efficient.
Got guys like Isaiah Stevens, Keenan Blackshear, Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn. I mean, it is a guard-loaded league in the Mountain West this year. Carper wants the 3 ball, can't get it. Anderson flings it out of trouble. Just about 2 minutes left in the game. As Cade Rice gets set to check in over next to Bronco head coach Leon Rice.
Oh, good pass.
Keene to Silla, and that's another assist for R.J. Keene. Redshirt sophomore out of the Woodlands, Texas. Got some good vision today.
Number 8, Cade Rice.
Dribble handoff to Carper. Boise State looks like they're going to extend their winning streak to 5 straight games as San Antonio goes into the step back 3. And with the victory tonight, of course, the big news for Boise State, they would set a record for most consecutive home wins at 20 with just a minute and 27 left to go to close this one out.
I mean, Leonard, that says a lot. I mean, you think about the quality of teams that have come in here to get 20 in a row at home. That's a big deal. I mean, you're going back to great conference battles with Utah State and San Diego State and New Mexico and Vegas. And
they beat them all right here at ExtraMile Arena.
That's a big deal.
Undefeated at home in the Mountain West Conference. Last year was Boise State. They haven't lost here since the middle of November of 2022. And with a minute left, they're going to have one more chance to defend their home court in 2023 as Meadow, oh my goodness, that was a massive bang down low. And Meadow came down right on top of San Antonio.
I think he's going to be just fine. And by the way, he's had a heck of a basketball game today at San Antonio.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
This is not a play you see very often with a guy coming out of a corner and both of them getting that much aerial height.
Guy kind of known for his defense, going to check out with 12 points.
I think the Fullerton staff is ready to get out of here. Get some food, get to the airport, get home, sleep in your own bed, regroup.
Just 54 seconds left in this game. Meadow will add a free throw. 7 points today for Andrew Meadow, the freshman out of Santa Clarita, California. And this one all but over. Keith Richard finding Kabamba. Good offensive rebound there by Square. He's going to try to go back up, and he's going to get fouled.
Silla's kind of, I didn't foul anybody. He's kind of got that look like, what?
He's just trying to stay up there in the paint.
We fouled him twice without a call, and they finally had to give it to him after the third one.
So Mikey Square make the first free throw. And with 28 seconds left in this game, it means that Boise State, after these free throws, can just hold the ball on the final possession. Square will add another. He's going to finish his day with 3 points, all coming at the free throw line. And it's going to be an 88-65 final as the Broncos are going to run out the clock. They will be on a 5-game winning streak, 5-0 in the month of December, as the Broncos improve to 8-3. And they've got a good test coming. They'll head to Spokane to take on a Washington State team that the computer metrics certainly love, although they did suffer their second loss of the season yesterday.
Yeah, the net does love Washington State. And that will basically be a road game. Yeah, I know it's a neutral site, but Spokane is the second home of the Washington State athletic program, so that's going to be a tough one for Boise State to go up there and grab a couple days before Christmas.
20-game home winning streak, new longest in program history. We'll talk more about it when we come back. Boise State wins it over Fullerton. Post-game to come from ExtraMile Arena. Broncos win it over Cal State Fullerton. Omar Stanley joins us here at the table. Omar, ball was moving around today. You guys scored 88 points. Everyone was getting their touches. Everyone getting involved. How good does it feel to be out there sharing the rock the way you guys have recently?
Yeah, man, it feels great. You know, it feels like that's the way we're supposed to come in and play, and we're finally starting to get it to click now, and so it feels amazing.
Hey, Omar, you guys' efforts on the boards, especially the offensive end, but just overall, At halftime last game, it sounded like Leon Rice tried to inspire you guys a little bit when it came to your rebounding efforts. How much of that was a part of your focus and urgency from the jump tonight?
Yeah, not only Coach Rice, but Coach Moats. He emphasized that in the film room yesterday. He was like, if we can go in, at least one person between our bases, if we can all grab an offensive rebound, that's going to help. That's going to help our game. We looked at percentages of the wins where Coach Rice, where he had offensive rebound, where we won offensive rebounds, he won like 80% of the time. And so it was crazy. He was like, when we lost in offensive rebounds, it was 50-50. He was like, let's just go get it, and that's what we decided to do today. So,
got great mindset. 14 points, 10 boards, double-double.
Yep.
Washington State next, but then I want to know, do you get to go home for Christmas?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. We get to go home for four or 5 days, maybe 3 days, but I'm going to enjoy every moment of it, man. I'm going to enjoy every moment of it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Omar, real quick before we let you go, whether it be you, Cam Martin, Roddy Anderson, how cool is it to see you guys really starting to come along and develop?
Yeah, man, it's great. The better part of it is that, we're supporting each other. You know what I mean? Like, usually when, like, me and Cam, we came in, we're competing for a spot, obviously. But,
absolutely.
Between the difference between us and other transfers, that we're friends off the court. You know what I mean? Like, we're buddies. And so we're able to talk to each other, and we're able to have conversations outside of the court, outside of basketball. We're able to separate it. So that's been great. You know what I mean? It's definitely helped me out a lot. And, he's super mature, obviously. So it's helped me out. So.
Well, Omar, congrats on the effort. Congrats on the victory. Look forward to seeing what you do up in Spokane.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Omar Stanley for
Congrats.
Boise State. Broncos win at 88-65 over Cal State Fullerton, and that home winning streak moves to 20 games in a row for the Broncos, a new program record as we look at the final stats here tonight. And for Boise State, we talked about the rebounding with Omar, but when you see it put to numbers like that, 44-25, that's a massive victory for the Broncos.
Boy, they just did it on the boards all night long. A lot of tips, right, Jay? We talked about a lot of tips. You're not going to be able to get it. Tip it to somebody who can. A lot of extra effort, second possessions. 11 turnovers. I wouldn't have guessed that because it didn't seem like they really turned it over very often. So I think they took care of the basketball. Point guard play was really good. Just a tremendous effort for Boise State.
Yeah, it really does begin with some of the staples of this program, though. It's moving the basketball, letting it pop, getting people involved. And then as Omar kind of alluded to, when they win on the glass in the Leon Rice era, the Broncos are just a really, really difficult team to beat. And if you look at these last 3 games, they're averaging a little over 42 rebounds per game. I mean, they're going to win a lot of contests if they can put together this effort consistently. And then, by the way, the points. These last couple of games, 109, 95, and 88. My goodness. I mean, that's a lot of points.
Yeah, it's kind of clicking right now. We talked earlier, Jay. I kind of thought this game would be kind of 65-58, mid-60s for both teams. And Boise State's just really getting it going.
The Broncos have been turning it on recently, and they've got 2 more games to close out the non-conference slate. We talked about it on the Pac-12 Network, December 21st versus Washington State. Neutral site game, as you alluded to, Jay. Not that neutral there in Spokane, much like when Washington State came here last year and we played in Boise at the arena downtown. It's about the streak for Boise State, a chance to add to it after that Washington State game when they come home against Utah Valley, and then the hardest test of the year for Boise State could potentially be that home game that comes up after on January 9th. Colorado State, Isaiah Stevens and the Rams come to town. Right now, they're the best team in the Mountain West.
This place should be filled to the absolute brim for that game. I mean, you're talking about 2 teams that you might see in the championship or the Mountain West Championships down in Las Vegas here in a few months. That game is going to be awesome, and I can't wait to see how Roddy Anderson responds to going up against Isaiah Stevens. These last 2 games for Roddy, 51 total minutes played. A goose egg in the turnover column for the kid.
That is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
That is tremendous. We talked about this earlier. I think there was a game he had 7 turnovers in 11 minutes.
Yeah.
That was maybe 2 weeks ago. This kid is figuring out. He's going to be a great, great point guard for Boise State.
I think the exciting thing about the Colorado State matchup that you see there on January 9th, that could potentially be a great case for someone to state their Mountain West Player of the Year claim.
Yep.
We talked about Chibuzo Abo coming into that conversation, the way he's played in the non-conference. It was Stevens who was picked in the preseason. Those two going head-to-head, that could be a resume-building game for one of them to win that award.
It was funny. I thought that I was being bold with my prediction by saying, man, Chibuzo Abo this year could be a first-team All-Mountain West guy. Saw how he worked hard in the offseason, really developed. He looked like he was ready. And all of a sudden, that seems like the understatement or the obvious statement. He is a guy, if he continues this up, will absolutely contend for Mountain West Conference Player of the Year, averaging over 16 points a game, playing pretty good defense. Excited to see if he can continue to keep it up.
Yeah, don't throw Tyson Degenhardt out of the discussion either.
I thought that's just a foregone conclusion.
Obviously,
he's going to be in the mix.
He's just, the quiet giant who, again, sometimes you just don't even know he's out there, and all of a sudden it's 18, 12, and 4 assists.
You're
and
totally
3
right.
blocks and does it with a smile on his face all the time. And so
15 points tonight, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, had that big block, also had a steal, 31 ho-hum minutes. You're right, Brian. Just kind of doing what he does.
I mean, it's every coach's dream, right? He probably doesn't ask for much.
No.
And he takes care of business in the classroom and just gets it done.
The epitome of high output, low maintenance. I mean, that's just him to an absolute T. He's going to be. I feel like, with all due respect for some of the legends that I've covered here at Boise State, I'm going to say arguably, but I think we're going to be able to make it more definitively that he is going to be the best by the time he leaves this place to ever suit up in the blue and orange for the Broncos.
Boy, and there's been a
There's
bunch of them.
Like I said, with all due respect, I'm going to throw arguably in there for now. But the way he is trending, he could make it a runaway contest. Back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances. They're expected to get back there again this year. I mean, these are things that no teams have accomplished prior to Tyson Degenhardt suiting up for Boise State.
Certainly have to imagine that if you go to 4 NCAA tournaments during your time here as Degenhardt, that's going to,
like I said,
help cement it.
Yeah.
You make it more definitive at that point.
Well, gentlemen, I am excited for conference
Let's go.
season to start. Holy smokes, there's going to be fireworks everywhere, and ExtraMile Arena is going to be a really fun place to be.
Couldn't agree more with you, Brian.
Just 2 games away from conference beginning for Boise State when they will take on San Jose State on the road. They're welcoming Colorado State on the 9th. But a big matchup against Washington State coming up when the Broncos are on the road on the 21st. Boise State wins it 88-65. For our crew here at Boise State University, my broadcast partners Brian King and Jay Tuss. We've had a lot of fun here. One more game before the new year when Utah Valley comes in on December 29th. We will see you all then. Hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. And we're signing off from ExtraMile Arena. Broncos win it 88-65.